Nitroplus, Good Smile Company, Hiroyuki Sawano. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little show. But Urobuchi accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction. Chemical P.
Thunderbolt Fantasy is the best show you probably never watched, which is a shame. Shame on you. It's also a wuxia show. A wuxia show is... It's an adventure show with Chinese themes or something. A common characteristic of these shows is that the names are a pain in the ass to remember, so you just memorize the characters by their looks or first name on the subs. The plot is about Chang, the wandering warrior, who happens to get tangled up in a fight when Wape God wapes some kush in some maniac's face, who then gets butthurt and then chops his own head off and gets his gang of maniacs to stalk the main character, who then decides to do something about it. Then it gets more complicated than that. But hey, I'm a nice guy, so I won't spoil it. So what makes this show different and worth watching? First, let's take out our shotguns for a moment and shoot the elephant in the room. The visuals. Remember when you were watching that fight scene in Muppets in Treasure Island? And you thought to yourself at the time that nothing was gonna come close to this? Well, if that was your cup of coffee, then this won't disappoint you. Man, oh man. Skillful puppeteering and Sawano Hiroyuki's bombastic music go hand in hand like a couple that has been happily married for 40 years. It's like when you watched Nightmare Before Christmas and half the enjoyment was appreciating the amount of effort and love poured into the making of the movie. The scenery, the weather inside those sets they made, even the blood effects on the puppets is just inspiring to look at. It's the thing that makes this show stand out amongst the crowd and deserves praise. Next, let's talk about another key player in the making of this show. Gen Urobuchi, the ever-present goblin of suffering. Say what you want about Urobuchi, that he's a hack who uses the same twists everywhere he goes, or that he is the best writer to ever exist. With Thunderbolt Fantasy, I think wuxia seems to be his calling, and I found that his typical dark, philosophical, rambling, whatever style of writing was strangely fitting when it's in a Taiwanese puppet show. Being a puppet show, it has a great focus on theatrical presentation, and this what either makes or breaks the show for you. This is actually a huge reason why I find this show to be as charming as it is.
Man, that sounds lame and cheesy.
Well, sucks to be you then. I like my cheese. One protruding aspect of the story is the clash of the philosophies of the characters, who at the beginning are, for the most part, clearly defined, and how they change throughout the show is a fun process to watch. You won't find any real deepness, or too many deep implications that you can spend hours making stupid ass theories about on fanfiction.net. Or maybe you can. People always surprise me. What you see is what you get. And that is a show that is very straightforward with no plot holes, that has impressive fight scenes, great music, fun characters. Each episode ends at the right time to compel you to start the next episode right away, keeping you hooked until the very satisfying ending. I will admit that the whole package is carried by the novelty of it, you know, being a damn puppet show. Then, at the end of the wild ride, it makes your day as it shows you that another season is in production. And I'm looking forward to it. Is it good? Should you watch it? Is it worth watching? Oh yeah.